Hi, everybody, and welcome tonight to our joint Team Dream Fit and Team Fit for Life call. This call is about recruiting, okay? Specifically, Erin shared something in our Push to Diamond group. Becky, you're not in that group, so that's okay. I'm going to explain. We are going to explain. We're going to talk about the video. I don't know. Can I just see a show of hands? And totally okay if you didn't yet, but did anybody get a chance to actually listen to that call? Show of hands if you did. Okay, Valentine. Hold on, I'm going backwards. I want to see. Anybody else? No? Okay, that's totally fine. We're going to go over some things, some highlights of that call. Just because we're going to go over that stuff tonight, don't just take our word for it. Really listen to the call, because Erin and I both found it to be extremely, Erin said she had her aha moment while watching it. It was just really profound and really great information. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. And the topics that I'm going to lead with, I'm going to speak on a few, and then Erin's going to speak on a few. And then at the end, we will open it up for you guys to ask some questions. So if you do not have a notebook and a piece of paper and a pen, then I would encourage you to get some so you can take some notes, okay? The first thing about recruiting, and I'm going to speak specifically on this topic because I am a recruiter for my day job, okay? So I have been in this business for a long time, and I really take for granted the fact that I guess kind of know how to just reach out to people, because this is what I've done since the beginning of me starting, okay? But I want you guys to know that in every other career, in athletics, in everything else, recruiting is extremely exciting. It's flattering. When you get recruited, you feel like on top of the world. If you get a call randomly because your resume is posted somewhere and someone sought you out to ask you to take that job, you feel amazing, okay? If you were going to play a sport and a recruiter came and they watched you play this sport, you would feel amazing to be sought out like that. This business is no different. There is a stigma that goes along with it, and you have to get rid of that stigma, okay? Because you have to believe, first and foremost, that you have an amazing opportunity to offer people. You have to believe in your gut that this is not a pyramid scheme, okay? Because it's not. You can look at a corporate ladder, okay, and you can see that in every other business, there is a hierarchy, okay? But the thing about this business and the beauty of this business is that it doesn't matter where you fall, you can make money. You can make just as much money. It doesn't matter if you join someone's organization on the bottom. That doesn't mean that you won't make money. A pyramid scheme is that people make money off of you, right? But you cannot make money until you have people to make money off of. That's not how this business works. This business works, as you know, you can start making money immediately off of retail. That's why we tell you to get to Emerald, because once you get to Emerald, you can start making money then off of Team Cycle bonuses. And guys, you don't earn any money, as I discussed in the earning call. You don't earn any money specifically off of what your coaches earn. Your coaches, you guys get to take your money home. Everything that you work for, you take your money home, okay? So first and foremost, you have to believe in this opportunity so that when you are reaching out to people, which you should be doing, you believe in this opportunity and you have that high energy about this business. And, when you are reaching out to people, you need to make it about them. When you are, and I addressed this in my group today, but we talk so much about Success Club, and we talk so much about benchmarks, and we talk so much about, signing coaches and what needs to get you to a certain rank. But first and foremost, you guys should really be concentrating on helping people, because that's what this business is about. I cannot speak for anyone else, but I could not work for any one of the other makeup companies, okay? Because I don't know how putting makeup on can change somebody's life. Now, that's not saying that they don't really believe in that, because it has changed people's self-esteem and stuff, but that's not what I believe in. I believe I'm changing people's health and their fitness levels, and I am making them healthier for themselves and their family. And I believe that. You know why I believe that? Because I have done that for myself. Okay? And so that when I talk to people, I am convicted in talking with them and saying to them, hey, listen, I have this amazing challenge group coming up. I have this amazing opportunity in coaching. And you would be an amazing coach. Have you ever considered it? You know what? Maybe it's not for you, but have you ever considered it? Okay. So when you are recruiting and you are asking people, you're not just waiting for people to come to you. You're not posting and waiting for people to see it, because Facebook has, rules, and they have these silly, help me out. What are you algorithms. That people don't see your posts. Okay. And so you think only 2 people liked it because your entire friends list saw it, and only 2 of those people. You thought everyone in your friends list saw it, and everyone in your friends list was judging you. But guys, most likely only 2 people saw it, because Facebook only allowed 2 people to see it. Okay? You can't rely on Facebook to allow people to see your posts. You have to be reaching out and inviting people every single day, and you have to be so passionate about what you're doing, and you have to make it about them. You have to make it about what this is going to do for their life, okay? You have to say, hey, listen, I've seen your posts about wanting to get healthier and wanting to work out, and I have this amazing challenge group coming up, and I would really love it if you would join. Or, hey, I've seen you post about your workouts, and you honestly are so inspirational and motivational. Have you ever given any thought to coaching? Because I think that you would be an excellent coach, and I would love to have you on my team. I want to talk now about going for no. And I post this in our Diamonds group, but this applies to every single coach. This applies really in anything in your life. We worry about what people think of us. And you set in your mind this expectation before you talk to people, that people are going to judge you. People are going to think you're silly. People are going to talk behind your back. There's all this stigma out there. Guys, people don't care really that much, okay? And the people that do, they need help. If they're focusing that much on negativity, they need help, and you don't want them in your life, okay? So you need to go to people, and you need to expect that they're going to say no, because people are going to say no. They're going to say no more than they say yes. You know why? Because they don't know what you're talking about. They might say no, but no doesn't mean never. No doesn't mean get the hell away from me. I never want your Beachbody stuff, okay? That's not what no means. No means I'm really unsure of myself right now, and I don't want you as a coach to judge me, so I'm going to say no right now. But when they say no, now they're looking at your page. Now they're paying attention to your posts. Now whatever you're saying is really hitting home to them, and now they're intrigued. So they're going to come back. And maybe those people join your challenge groups later. Maybe those people become coaches. Don't write them off. That's why follow-up is so key. You go back to them in a month's time or 2 months' time, and you say, hey, I know we talked about this before, but I just wanted to offer to you again. I have a challenge group coming up, and I'd really love it if you joined. I know you have some hesitations, and I know you said you didn't want to do this before, but has your mind changed at all? People tend to not say no more than once, okay? So they may say no again, and that's okay too. Most of my coaches here have said no to me on more than one occasion. Okay. And if I had I not continued to follow up with you guys, then we wouldn't be here. Okay.
And same with me.
Yeah. So, when you are reaching out to people and they say no, you need to just continue to go after it. And Leanne talks in this video, which I do want you guys all to watch it, but Leanne talks in this video and she uses an example, and I'm going to use that example here. You're out to dinner. You finished your meal. You're with your family. And the waiter comes up and you're ready for the check. And so, but the waiter knows you're done. And the waiter says to you, okay, I see that you've wrapped dinner up. Would you guys like any coffee or dessert? You have no desire to eat dessert tonight, right now. You're full. Do you say, oh, get the hell away from me? No, you say, no, thanks. I'm good. Thanks. Just the check. Do you think that waiter is like, oh my God, they said no to dessert. I need to go. I have to get myself together. No, they don't. They go to the next table when they need their check and they ask them to. And just because you said no to dessert that night doesn't mean the next night that you go to dinner, doesn't mean that that's the night you have dessert. Not as coaches, but you know what I mean. You don't know when the timing is right for people. And I have said this before, that it is so important for you to understand how very vulnerable this is, okay? I've lost 90 pounds and it was not easy for me to finally jump into this. I was ashamed. I was miserable. I was very sad. I knew I needed to change, but I wasn't ready. It had absolutely nothing to do with anybody else. It had everything to do with me. When the time was right, that's when I purchased my challenge pack. And still, that thing sat on my counter for 2 months before I opened it. But when I jumped in head first. And if it hadn't been for my challenge group that I paid so much close attention to, and I just really got involved, I probably would not be here right now. So understand that when you reach out to people and they say no, it's not about you. It's not that you're annoying. It's not that you're salesy. It's not that you don't really mean it from the bottom of your heart, okay? It's just about them. And no does not mean never. No means not right now, okay? And the last thing I want to talk about before Erin starts talking is that we as coaches make a really big mistake about leading with the discount coach opportunity. I've made a mistake of this. Every coach has made a mistake of this. And yes, you can sign discount coaches to build your rank, but discount coaches do not build your business, okay? So when you are trying to achieve rank, and we talked about this in the Diamond group, your business doesn't stop at Diamond. Your business starts at Diamond. And when you have discount coaches underneath you, you need to know that discount coaches are not going to be there, all the whole time. If they are not benefiting from the overall what this community has to offer, then they most likely will come and go. They will stay a lot longer than customers will, but they will come and go. So when discount coaches cancel, which I've had a lot of, you can't be like, oh man, I'm going to lose my rank. You have to expect that discount coaches are not going to be there forever. And if you really want to build this business, you need to lead with the business opportunity. If you lead with the business opportunity and someone says, you know what, I'm not ready to work this business, then you can talk about the discount, okay? If you say to someone, why lead with the discount, okay? Because if you lead with the discount, then you're going to overwhelm the crap out of them if you tell them, and you can spend turn around doing all this and then make some money. Lead with the business opportunity. If they say, oh gosh, that's too overwhelming, but you can see the wheels spinning, then you say, well, listen, there is a chance for you to get a discount, not just on your Shakeology, but on other products as well. Let's go discount first, and then we can discuss, if you're interested, then we can discuss what this business has to offer, okay? And then you slowly start talking to them. once they're in your community, once they see what you're doing, once they have an open mind, then you can really start talking to them about the business opportunity. But you should always lead with the business opportunity, because if you really want to do something with your business and you really want to go forward, you have to have business builders underneath you. Okay? Actually, I want to talk about one more thing, and then I'll let Erin talk. I want to speak on doubt, because I know that I had to speak with a couple of you this week because you were feeling a little down. And first and foremost, I want to tell you that I had a bad week. Okay? I am a human being, and I had a really bad week. And man, sometimes I feel like I was on the ledge. Okay? But that's all right. I didn't wallow in it. I did everything I knew I needed to do to get myself out of it. And this is where personal development is so key for you. This is why personal development is one of your 3 vital behaviors. Because personal development is not just some book you set a timer for and read for 10 minutes. Personal development is like working out another one of your muscles. Personal development is building up your soul, your positivity, so that you are preparing yourself for the no's. You're preparing yourself for the objections. You're preparing yourself to have a conversation with someone without getting defensive. Personal development is so key to your growth. And I didn't get this when I first signed up as a coach. Okay? But it's so important. And so that when you're in the moment, because for some weird reason, we all like to wallow when we're sad, or we would like to wallow when we're down, and we hate those people that like to be positive to us in the moment. You have to know your triggers, and you have to know what's going to snap you out of it. For me, it really is working out, even if I don't want to do it, because you should see me like a lunatic running up and down my stairs sometimes if I'm down. And I look like I'm, and the first couple stairs or the first couple flights, I'm like cussing and I don't know why I'm doing this. And then afterwards, I feel so much better. Now I'm going to throw some psychology at you because I was a psychology major. Your brain functions when it goes right to left brain. It's a calming mechanism, okay? And sends a chemical throughout your body that calms you down, okay? So it's actually proven if you do things where you're using both sides of your body, that your body is going to calm down. So for me, I will work out, and I have a history of depression, okay? So I know all this stuff too, and of course from studying, but your body calms down, your mind calms down when you're moving yourself on both sides. So that's something that you can do, but go to your coach, go to your upline, come to me. I am appreciative that you guys expressed that you were having a down day, because I know, we all know, if somebody goes ghost, something ain't going on. Something's not right. Somebody's having a bad day, So look to your coach. Go to them and say, it's okay to be real and say, like, I'm not feeling this right now. I'm really discouraged. I just invited 3 to 5 people like you told me for the past 5 days, and everyone said no, and I just feel like quitting. And your coach will say, man, I have been there. I have been there, and I feel that, and I'm going to tell you to go watch The Secret. And you're going to feel better, because that's what personal development does. Okay? So that's my 2 cents. I'm going to turn it over to Erin.
Okay, wait. I'm just going to go can you guys see me? Yes? Hi. I just wanted to start with this notion of being down in the dumps and getting into a funk, because I know a lot of you had said that was one thing you wanted to talk about tonight, and we were just chatting about it, so I figured jump right in now. Like Steph was saying, we get in funks all the time, and I will be the first to admit that I'm not great with personal development in the sense that like sitting down and reading a book, but I will. One thing that really helps me is watching YouTube videos of top coaches, and it gets me fired up. I actually see them and I'm like, I want that. if they can do it, I can do it. And I've never had that attitude or mentality before. I've always doubted myself. I always felt like I was like lower than everybody else. My self-confidence was not great at all. But when I see those top coaches and I see, you know, in 2 years or even in 5 years, 7 years, that they were able to, you know, buy their dream home or retire their husband, stay home with their kids, all these things that are my goals too. And I see that they're real people and they've achieved them. It fires me up. It gets me, like, it snaps me back into it. And I think one thing that's really helped is, I don't know if you all know, a couple of you, my coaches know, my upline coach, Nikki, she lives in Ashburn, Virginia. She's a real person. I've met her several times. She's number 17 in the whole company, and she's done it in 2 years. And so when I'm, you know, chatting with my family about, you know, they still doubt me. They're still like, what are you doing? Like, how's your real job going? They're like, do you really think that you can like make this work? Do you really think that you're going to like make a living off of Beachbody and be one of those people at the top? And I always remind them, I'm like, my coach is a real person. She's not some person I see on an infomercial or in a movie or on TV. Like, she's real. I've met her. I know her story. She shared with me her progression over the years. So that's what inspires me. And the other thing I think we both agree is having a success partner. I don't know if you guys can like raise your hand. Do you all have a success partner, somebody that you check in with daily, or if you feel down, you reach out to, they're like the first person you go to? Do you all have that? Because that's a big thing. And if you don't, like, Steph or I can try to match you up with somebody, but, and if you don't have anybody, you can, one of us can help you too. But, like we said, we're on different teams here, and it's maybe not so unusual. Like, I've heard it before, but I think more often people on the same teams will pair up and be success partners and lead these calls together. But we just, I don't know, it's weird. It's like fate. We met, and in the beginning,
the secret.
It is the secret. And in the beginning, we were trying to figure out ways to like get on each other's teams. And I mean, that didn't, remember that? I was like contacting my coach, like, can we get her somehow? And can't you go to corporate and work some magic? But it doesn't matter, because we're all in this for the same reason. Like, we, you know, my goal might be to stay at home with my kids, and your goal might be to bring Neil home, or whatever it is, but we all have like generally the same sort of goals. And having a success partner to bring you back up and reassure you it's okay and you're not alone really helps. So I highly suggest leaning on that person. And again, if ever you need either one of us, like, we're always here. You can ask our husbands. We're always on our phones. The phone never leaves our side, and we're always available. So that's that. I wanted to jump into that. And like, I grabbed her pen from her while she was talking, because you were saying a couple things that I didn't want to forget. You were talking about, like, obviously you guys are in this for a reason. Something drew you to this, something clicked, someone presented something to you, and you're like, that's it, I want it. And like you said, I mean, I know my 2 coaches on here, or I think there's 2, they told me no too in the beginning, or maybe not necessarily no, but like, I don't know about that. Maybe later down the road. I had a good friend who's a Stella and Dot rep, and God, I think it was last January, kind of when I signed up for this. She came to me and was like, you should really do it. And she's very successful. She has 3 kids. She makes a great living off of Stella and Dot. And she really tried to get me to get into it. And it's funny. My excuse was, I don't have time. Like, I work full time. I commute to Virginia at the time I did. I get up before my kids are awake. Like, my husband is a general contractor. He's like never home in the evenings or weekends. I don't have time for that. But like, weeks later, when this opportunity was presented to me, I had the time. So it just goes to show you, like, if you truly are passionate about something, you'll make it work. You'll do whatever it takes to make it work. And you'll have ups and you'll have downs, and that's normal with anything in life. But if you truly are passionate about it, it's going to work out for you. And so you got to remember that when you're approaching other people, trying to get them onto your team, share your story. So that's one of the big things I want to talk about, is sharing your story. And I think that's what holds a lot of people back from reaching out and recruiting. And I know it did for me, and I still struggle, because like, this is a great example. Steph and I have totally different stories, right? Like, you lost 90 pounds. You're a cancer survivor. You just mentioned the thing about depression. Like, I don't have any of those things. I've lost like 7 pounds or so. I don't have any big, like, attention grabbing story. So I thought, but you do have a story. Everybody has a story. And, her story may relate to this many people, but my story is going to relate to people too. And that's why it's like, there's always somebody for everybody. Her story may not match well with somebody whose my story is going to hit home to. So never underestimate your story. Like, you have something to offer. So for like something like big for me is self-confidence and positivity. I was like in a funk. I was very negative. I put everybody above myself. I have 2 little kids, like, so my job and my kids, and, it was winter, and I felt really down in the dumps. And so for me, this has been like a big internal transformation. And I've met like crazy people who are so positive, and I didn't have that necessarily in my life before. So I do have a story, and it's an important story, and it's just as important as hers. And my story is going to reach people, and her story is going to reach people. So don't underestimate what you have to offer people, and tell your story. And like Steph said, when you first signed up to coach, you may have come out and been like, okay, you guys, this is it. I'm a coach. Here's my story. And then maybe you haven't really brought it up again. But there's a couple things here. If you're doing your vital behaviors and you're adding people to your network every day, 3 to 5 people, well, those people you added today didn't see your story from whenever you guys signed up to coach, unless they're scrolling back through your entire profile, which they're not. So that's one thing. And number 2, like she said, not everybody sees all your posts. If we post something right now, I used to think that it would show up in the morning when someone's like turning on their phone and scrolling through. Someone may see it and someone may not. So you need to be telling your story often. And it doesn't have to be, hey guys, I'm Sarah and I joined Beachbody because blah, blah, blah. Like it should be in your post. You should mix it in somehow, like today, I posted about how I had my first paycheck and I was so excited. It was $77 and it almost covered my Shakeology. And then now I can pay student loans and my car payment. And I talked about how, I wasn't a positive person and now I am. And I doubted myself. And I thought, like, how are you going to be able to do this without sales experience? So I'm constantly talking about what Beachbody's done for me and my story. And so you guys need to be doing that often. Again, it doesn't have to be some like blatantly obvious post. I'm Sarah and here's my story, but it needs to tie into your posts.
Because people are watching. They're watching you, even if they're not liking your posts, even if they're not commenting, they are watching.
They are watching. And that, when you were talking before, I was going to ask for a show of hands too. Like, how many of you have reached out to either a challenger or a coach and they said no, but you came back and they said yes? Have you guys come across that yet? Mm-hmm. So some of you have. And that's happened to me a lot of times. Like, I have people who I would say, hey, I have a challenge group, or I have this private accountability group. It's for people who want to get their health and fitness back on track. It's starting in a couple weeks. Would you be interested? And then they'll say, oh, thanks for thinking of me. No. And then I say, well, do you mind if I check back in with you next month? Because I do run them monthly and, you never know, you may be into it next month. And they always say, I don't think I've ever had someone that says, no, don't. They might just be being polite, but they say, yeah, check back in. And then I'll check back in, maybe even a couple months in a row. And then finally they say yes. And it's happened to me a lot. It's happened to me with coaches. I've had people who I've reached out to and are like, you would be so good, like challengers in my group who are posting daily in the group, and who, when you give them like a little challenge, or the first one to jump into it, I've approached them. I'm like, you'd be so good at this. Are you sure? On top of, you get the discount, but you could also get commission. It'd be great for your accountability. And then, they'll say no in the beginning, and then I say yes. So you just follow up. You never know unless you ask. And that was one of the, like Steph was saying, this video for me, I've watched probably thousands of YouTube videos on top coaches and people in the business. And for some reason, this video like really grabbed my attention. And I don't know if maybe it's because, for those of you who haven't watched it, this isn't a Beachbody coach. She actually left Beachbody and now she works for Beauty Counter, which we just saw now. But she was in their HR department, right? Recruiting.
No,
she was or what was she?
She was a senior training manager.
A senior training manager. Okay, so she wasn't a coach, and I think maybe that's why I just.
But she started out in the field in MLM. So she started out in the field doing this. She had 4 children.
Yeah.
She needed to pay her car payment. She talks about that was $307. She said to her husband, "I want to pay this."
Yeah, she sold Avon, I think.
And and he said, if you can pay this, then if you can pay the car payment, you can have the car. And so she got into this.
Yeah.
And then it just grew from there.
Yeah. I mean, definitely watch the video, but recruiting's been a big thing for me too. And like Steph was saying, like, if you're not even approaching somebody to ask them, you're making up their mind for them. You're deciding, no, you don't want to do this. Like, if you don't ask, how do you ever know? And like you brought up the thing about the server and the dessert, you would probably be actually offended if the server didn't come to you and say, hey, do you guys want dessert? Because we're so used to having that. If the one time, you're out to dinner and you want dessert and they don't ask you, like, you'd be offended. And so you do, don't take it personally. It's not something to take personally. They're not saying no to you. They're saying no to the opportunity. And there was one note I wrote, God, what was it? It was, if you're going into this thinking that people are going to say no and brush you off, then you're going to be giving off that energy. It's like what you said, the secret. And you're going to get back what you're putting out. So just always keep that in mind. But okay, so sorry, I'm going off on a tangent and it's 9:30. Okay, so what did I want to talk about? Okay, so your story, don't forget, it's very important to discuss your story. Right, if you don't ask, you never know. That's what I just talked about. One thing that she mentioned that I really like, so she talked about like really having a vision, like a detailed vision. Like a year from now, I am going to do Beachbody full time. I am going to make $2,000 a week. I am going to have a team of 500. I am going to be an elite coach. Like a detailed vision. And she used Lindsay in that way as an example and said that she wasn't successful in the beginning. She came into this, like she had no upline. She was like one of the first people. She had no one really above her, no one that really guided her. She kind of took it into her own hands and created a ridiculous amount of success. But she acted successful from the beginning. Like she acted like a top coach, and therefore she is a top coach. So she suggested that you write a letter to yourself. I love this too. What are we at? We're in October. So date the letter like December 31st and write it to yourself. Dear Erin, wow, I am so proud of you. You are a 2-star diamond. You're premier. You're going to the leadership conference in California. You have a team of 200 coaches. You make $2,000 a week. Like, write a letter to yourself with those details out. And again, it's all the secret. It's all like what you put out to the universe comes back. And it's also kind of cool to keep something like that and look back on it and see what's happened.
And it's okay. This really touched me when she said this. And it's okay if she spoke about, which really like resonated with me. She spoke about, she and her husband were working with an architect to build her house. Yes. And they had to go through details of where the light fixtures would be and what the light fixtures were and where a window went in the house and where a door went. You have to go into those kind of details. Mm-hmm. And I know I get it because I'm there too. Sometimes you feel silly and you're like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to be making at the end of December. But you need to talk details. You need to be like, your hair is blonde with some lowlights in it, and you weigh 125 pounds. Look at you, Stephanie. No. But you need to be so specific about what it is that you want and what it is that you desire, because energy is real. Energy in our whole world is real. It's going on all of the time. We are energy. We are matter. What you put out is going to come back. It's just the truth. It will. Have you ever noticed? I want to share something about the secret. Okay. I want to share something very real. Alex and I, my coach, we had a conversation, and she was having a bad day. She was at Success Club 4 on September 29th, the night of. And I said, get out there and invite. She was feeling down. I won't go into details, but she really wanted to make Success Club because this is her month too. She wants to get a free ticket to Summit. And I told her, you're going to make Success Club. You just relax. You're going to make Success Club, but I'm busy at work tomorrow. I said, no. You're going to make Success Club. Okay. I want you to send some messages out tonight. I want you to enjoy your husband's company. I want you to just relax. She woke up the next morning and she was at Success Club 6. Okay. She closed out September 30th at Success Club 10.
What?
Okay. So Kelly and I talked yesterday. I checked in on Kelly. I said, how are you doing? She was feeling a little discouraged, whatever, we all do. And then Kelly and I are chatting. You know, we're talking about this, we're talking about that. And then a couple hours later, Kelly sends me a message and she says, did you send a customer my way? And I said, no, why? Because somebody from high school messaged me asking me about Shakeology. P.S. I'm not even friends with this person, which I'm so disappointed. There's somebody from Herndon I'm not friends with. But no, I didn't send her to her. But our energy did. Okay? If you don't believe in this stuff, Erin and I are friends here. We are Success Club partners. We are so close right now because of the secret, because of the universe, because of how everything works like this. So put it out there. Even if you don't believe in it right now, put it out there. Do those positive affirmations. Set your goals. Write them down. Make them clear. Because they will come back around.
And I think we will do an assignment where you guys write your letter and you don't have to share them with people, but at least do it. Like take the time and write it out. And it also gives you something to work towards. Like if you've written something out and maybe even shared it with your success partner or your husband or something like that, it holds you more accountable. Like if you're telling somebody, I am elite or I am, 2-star or whatever, you're going to work your butt off to get there because you've put it out there now. And so you want to prove yourself. You want to prove to yourself that you can do it. So maybe we'll make that an assignment. But so those are, I think, are the main things. You talked about just really quick, and this can be objections for just getting challengers or coaches. You guys have heard of the feel, felt, found. Have you guys all heard of that? No? Okay, so if I go to someone and I'm like, you should really join my challenge group. It's awesome, one-on-one, there's accountability, it's private, clean eating, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, oh no, I don't have time for that and I don't really have the money. Then you're like, I understand how you feel. I felt the same way, right? When I was approached about it a year ago, I was in a rut. I was feeling horrible, but I actually decided to give it a try. And I found that I could actually just cut back on going to Starbucks every day. I didn't run to Whole Foods at lunch, and I actually saved money by being on Shakeology. So you don't want to always make it about you, but you're showing that you're listening to their story. You understand that they have objections. Everybody does. We all did. No one is just like, yes, sign me up. Everyone's got some sort of a hesitation. And you need to make sure that you're listening to what these people are saying and what's preventing them from jumping in. And so you want to relate to them any way you can, even if that's not your, that's me. That's what I said to people, but you all have something that you can share with them to relate. So make sure you're doing that. And I think that's kind of, hold on, I work with partners. I said that, personal development, again, it doesn't have to be sitting down reading a book, but reach out to your success partner, watch YouTube videos. There's a ton of the ebooks, the Audible, all that. But it is really important. And that is one thing, like when I go to my coach and I tell her that I feel like I'm in a funk or something, she's always like, Erin, did you do personal development? Like she knows, she said that to me from day one. And I haven't been wonderful about personal development. So that's something that I'm for sure going to work on. But having the success partner for sure helps. And I think that's it as far as the meat of the video, but I know you want to unmute, right? Because you all had some questions.
Well, you know what, you guys, you're all muted. So if you have questions, go ahead and unmute yourself and go ahead and ask them.
Well, hopefully we answered you guys about the funk. I know it's, one thing I've learned from being on so my coach, Nikki, her team is like gigantic and I'm in that group and I'm always seeing posts. Like it doesn't matter if you're a coach of 2 months or if you're a coach of 3, 4, 5 years, like everybody gets in a funk. Like Lindsay Matway gets in funks. I don't know if you all know who she is. I always use her as an example, but whoever that's a top, like everybody gets in funks. It's sometimes very draining. So you're not alone. It doesn't matter how long you've been in the business. Everyone gets in funks and, we're all here to help. So anyway, go ahead. Whoever has a question.
Alex,
Can you see my husband behind me swinging his terrible towel around?
Oh, I love it. I love it. Go Steelers.
That's good.
It wouldn't be a call without a photo bomb from my husband.
All right. Who has a question? You have one, Alex?
I wanted to kind of talk about the strategic placement of coaches, because I know it's, that's why it's terrible toddler towel. But like, I just want to know, because I just want to know how you pick. Like, how do you pick? Because I know you want to pick your business builders primarily to go on your left, but you need to have business builders on your right as well. So at what point do you always put your discount coaches on the right, and then
Well, so we have very different situations. I think we discussed this before, but it can't hurt to go over it again. So my coach, Nikki, is like pushing to get to the top. Like, she is number 17. She wants to be a top coach. So she is hitting Success Club like 20 plus every month. She still recruits coaches. A lot of coaches that are ranked a little bit higher sometimes ease off of that, maybe just rely on what's going on below them. But she's out there pushing. So I'm on her left leg, and she's always putting people under there. So my left leg has a crazy amount of volume, and it is some from me because I have coaches that I've placed, but a lot of it is because she's putting people there, and all her coaches are putting people there, and it keeps growing. So then I've got my weak leg that's got like my husband. Well, he's not, I work his business, and sometimes there's not much going on. I'm working on me first. And then there's some discount coaches. Someone went inactive. So for me right now, I'm working on building him to diamond, because I want to get to 2-star by Thanksgiving, because we're both working on going to this conference and getting premier. But anyways, so I'm working him, and I'm also putting like anybody else that signs up on that side, on that right side, because I've got so much going on this left side, on my strong leg, that I'm not cycling because I've got nothing on the weak leg. You have to have the 200 and the 100. Mm-hmm. I've got like thousands and thousands on the side, but I've got like nothing on this side. So all that volume, it is sitting there. It's not going anywhere, but it's not doing anything for me right now. So there were 2 things I wanted to say. So that's me. I'm building my right leg, my weak leg, because I've got too much going on the left. And the other thing is, you never really know. So like Valentine and Alex, who are both in this group, I don't know if Alex is on the call, but they're like my rock star coaches. Like, they both are like full on, they're in here. They want to be diamond. They want to have a business, successful business. But in the beginning, I didn't really know that. Like, they were both kind of hesitant. I don't know. So they're both on the same leg. Mm-hmm. So in an ideal situation, they would have been on opposite legs. So I would have had like rock star here, rock star here. But sometimes you just don't know. And I have another coach who started off just for the discount, who's on that same left leg, and now she wants to work the business. So again, like, you may not know, it may be a discount coach that, sees what you're doing and really gets inspired and motivated and wants to jump full in, and she's already been placed, or he, and you can't do anything about it. But I don't know your current situation. I have a little bit of a different scenario too, but that's one such scenario.
I mean, truth is that, like she said, she didn't know in the beginning. There's strategies out there, and you're going to hear different strategies from all different kinds of coaches. You will get to a point in this business where it makes sense to you, and then you'll get into a groove.
Yeah.
But people still struggle. I mean, I still struggle when I sign coaches. Okay, we were just talking about this before we got on the call. Okay, do I put this person under Neil, or do I put this person? I mean, I wish Kelly was under me. She's under Neil. But it doesn't matter, because in the scheme of things, we're all on the same team. We're all doing this for the greater good, But Alex, maybe you're not in a position right now where specifically. So I would encourage you to come to me with, knowing. Now,
oh, of course.
You don't know, like, if someone's going to blow their business up when they first sign up. Because someone can sign up and be like, I'm going to rock this business. And then first month in, they hit Emerald. First month in, they hit Success Club. And then they're like, meow.
Yeah, I have someone that just is not even active in it. Like she's just fell off the face of the earth, and she was like gung ho, I'm doing this. So you just don't know.
I mean, same.
But if they're a coach of yours and you're placing them wherever, it's still going to help you. It may not be an immediate, like with me, where I've got all this volume just sitting there. It's not going anywhere. I will eventually get it. It's not really helping me at this present moment as far as money goes, but it's still you signing a coach. They're still on your team. They're still somewhere. But yeah, like I still go, I'll ask staff a lot of times, like, what should I do? Or I'll go to my coach, Nikki, and say, I'm about to sign someone. What do you think? Because a lot of times they'll see something that you might not really see. And so that's a good idea.
And as you grow your business, for instance, like having our husbands, and I've encouraged each of you to have your husband as well. When you sign your husband up, that's another business center for you. I mean, you guys we joke, it's funny, I made the announcement today, I gave my husband props for making Success Club. Everybody's like,
Yeah. Coach Neil, woo!
Like, go Coach Neil. But, that's another business center. And so when you get to 2-star, you get to open another business center in your name. Okay.
That gets confusing.
And you can grow that business to diamond, and that affects you. You get another star from you being diamond under you.
No, don't go there.
Yeah.
That's too confusing.
My point is that there's a lot of juggling going on. So placements, you might think you get it under control now. You're like, oh, I'm good. I just got this leg and this leg. And then you're like, oh my God. You're not, it's always a different strategy. There's videos out there for at every point in your business. And somebody will tell you to do one thing and somebody will tell you to do another.
In the beginning, it is easier because you just want to get the 4 and the 4, right? So you just keep alternating until you get there, and then you build your 2 emeralds. Yes. And then when you start getting a few more to pad each side in case somebody goes inactive, then it gets a little, trickier, I think.
Right.
Then you're like, okay, I'm okay on this side. I'm okay on this side. I'm not going to lose my rank. Now what?
So there's different strategies. There's strategies for rank, and then there's strategies for earning. Like Erin said, she could place now every single coach on her right side, every single coach. She might not advance past 2-star, let's say, if she didn't have, because she just has this volume sitting on the left, just waiting to cycle. And so she placed every single coach until she had them exactly the same so that they were constantly cycling. Her rank wouldn't matter to her because she's getting paid out in team cycle bonuses, okay? But if you're somebody like me who doesn't have upline support, I'm building both legs at the same time, So. Okay, sorry, that was long-winded. Anybody else? Questions?
I don't have my sheet with them. Funk, spouse placement. Oh, Valentine, you had asked, when we go into the coach online office, what are the main things we check for? So for me,
like a little checklist of what.
Yeah, we can make something, but for me, what I do, and it's a little tricky for me because we were joking, I do everything on my phone because I get to work really early. I work for the government, so I can't really log onto their computer. I mean, if I can, I don't know, but I'm terrified to, so I don't even get on there. And then I get home and I've got the kids and I do bed and dinner. I don't sit down at a computer really ever. So for me, I check everything from my phone, but I'll check my Success Club points, in the main page with the squares. Okay. And one thing to note is right above, it'll say 90 PV home direct and it'll say yes or no. So that's an important thing to see. And it'll tell you your current Success Club points, which take usually about 24 hours to update. So if someone bought a challenge pack from you right now, it probably wouldn't show up. I don't even know if it would show up tomorrow morning. Sometimes there's a delay.
But it can take 3 days.
Yeah, it can take a while. And then I go down to I should have pulled it up, but then I go down to the left-hand side where it says you have 3 new customers, you have 2 new coaches, and then it says you have coaches projected to be inactive. I click on all of those and I look, are any of those my coaches? I look, do I have someone going inactive? Because that's important. If I have new customers, I usually will take a screenshot or I'll quickly write down their phone number. I should talk about that in a second too. And I'll make sure I reach out to them. And then you can go into the sponsor. We should do a call on this actually, where we're walking them through the sponsorship drill down. So that's what I do. And it shows you all your personally sponsored coaches. And then there's a little plus sign and you can click on it and it opens up who all their coaches are. And I always check for their Success Club points. I check for if they're inactive or active, because it'll say inactive in red, or I think it's red. I would think it is. And what else do I check in there? That's usually about it.
It's in red, inactive only if they're about to go inactive. Once they're inactive, they're just gray. You lost.
Yeah, you get a warning. You have until like the third, right? You have until the next Thursday.
You have until the next business week. Yeah.
So those are the big things.
I check volume detail.
Yeah, I don't do that. And she's actually caught mistakes, so I do need to start doing that. But she'll check volume like every day, right? She tracks what her volume is, and if like the next day it's gone down, that's a red flag. Something's off.
Somebody returns something, check in with a coach.
And you can see returns actually when you go to your order. So I think the drop down says orders, and then it can say like personal orders and customer orders. I always go to customer orders, and I always export it into like it's not a spreadsheet. It creates a report because it's easier to read for me. And I go to the bottom and I see, because sometimes there are orders there that aren't showing up in my new customers because they're not new customers. They're like people that have gotten their next order of Shakeology. And that's helpful because then I'll reach out to them and say like, hey, we got to get you signed up for the 25% off. You talked about not leading with the discount, but a lot of the people that are on Shakeology Home Direct in my groups, like I know they wouldn't really want to coach, but I do want to get them that discount because I mean, it helps me. Discount coaches do help still, but it helps save them money. So those are the big things that I look for. And we can make some sort of like checklist and maybe even do a call where we screen share and just walk you through one of our.
I mean, Coach Online Office is very, very detailed. And honestly, there's a whole bunch of stuff on the leadership ladder as well. And benchmarks. Yeah. And that's a whole another hour and a half.
Once we get to Diamond, then we can, right?
Yeah. That's another.
But those are the basics because you don't want to miss like somebody going inactive, or you don't want to miss if someone returns something. If you have a new customer that signed up or a new, like a lead, you don't want to miss those. You want to check on those. And that's one thing I wrote down really quick. In the beginning, I've gotten a lot. I mean, I'm sure. Well, so you all get leads, right? Everyone here gets leads, right? Okay. So I was surprised at the amount of leads that we get. And in the beginning, up until like probably a couple months ago, I would email every single one of them and I would never hear back, like never. And I'm like, what is going on? Are they not getting it? Are they just deleting it? Is it going to spam? And I never really followed up. And so one day I was like, all right, I'm going to make a list of every lead. And they have their phone numbers on there most of the time. And I texted every single one of them. And most of them responded and said, oh, I never even got your email. So who knows where it went. And I've had people sign up to coach that were leads. So definitely follow up with your leads. Like I'm the first to say I didn't. I emailed them one time. I was like, I don't have time for this. And I moved on to getting my Success Club points. But these are people who could be coaches. Like you never know. So definitely don't leave out your leads. Make sure you follow up with them.
It just goes back to helping people and making that the priority. If you're helping people, the Success Club points follow. If you are helping people and you're making it about them and not you, you are going to see those benefits.
And Success Club is tied to everything. Like if you think about it, you're going to earn money when you hit Success Club. You're helping people when you hit Success Club. You're growing your business when you hit Success Club. You're earning elite. Like we'll get into that later, but so everything is centered around Success Club. So if you just focus on reaching people somehow, whether it's a blog, private message, Facebook, face-to-face. I have people that don't like Facebook and they're on PTAs and they work in big offices. Like it doesn't have to be, you don't have to be all over Facebook. It helps. It will probably give you a little bit more success. But if you're someone that doesn't want to be all over Facebook, you can try to do it other ways. Like you should be having conversations with people any chance you get. And actually one of my coaches who was a discount coach and now is going like full force into it, she signed up because I went to a kickboxing class with Valentine and I just so happened to be wearing my 21-day fixed shirt, not even on purpose. I wasn't like, ooh, wear and share today. I just had it on. And she's like, oh, do you do that program? I've been drinking Shakeology for months. And so I was like, oh, really? And I got her to order the 21-day fix. She signed up to be a discount coach and now she's a business builder. So just try to talk with people every opportunity you can.
And another thing that I want to address is that constantly be moving your business forward in the respect of Be creative with how you're reaching people. Don't just stop at Facebook. Be creative. Go to your children's daycare. Talk with people there. Talk with other moms. You have to find your niche, okay? And what your niche is in your brand. Are you a mom? You're a mom and you want to talk with other moms. You're a runner and you want to talk with other runners. You know, whatever it is, you know, you find your niche and you speak to them. Maybe you don't want to blow your personal page up on Facebook. I mean, you still should be posting, but you don't have to plaster it with Beachbody. You can just post about your family. Just be posting so that you're getting awareness out. Start a blog. Start a like page. Get there, because you guys need to start reaching your cold market. You need to start reaching. You have to constantly be adding friends and growing your network. Constantly. And again, if you're doing that, you're not being salesy. You're not approaching somebody off the bat and being like, "Hi, it's nice to see you. Would you like to buy a challenge pack?"
Yeah.
You know, you're saying, "Hey, you know, we met," or, "Hey, what is it that you do?" "Oh yeah, your son is in football too?" "Yeah, my son is in football too." Blah 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 blah. "What do you do for a living?" "Oh, well, I'm a teacher." "Oh, really cool. What do you do for a living?" "Well, I'm a recruiter and I'm a AFSO for a government contractor, but you know, I do this health and fitness coaching on the side and I really love it." "You do? Oh my gosh, that's really neat. Well, what do you do with that?" "Oh, well, have you ever heard of Beachbody? I'm a coach. I'm also an instructor." And, "Oh my God, that's a Shakeology stuff. I have heard about it." So that's just how it flows, guys. You're not like, "Hey, your son is in football with my son. Would you like to buy a challenge pack?"
And actually, you know, talking about Facebook, like you shouldn't be posting about Beachbody 3 to 5 times a day because people are going to get sick of it and block you. But if you are just being you, and you know, we asked you to list like the 5 things that define you. If you are posting about scrapbooking and, you know, running and your kids and whatever you're into, cooking, people are going to start checking in with you more because you're relating to people, and then they're going to start seeing your things in their news feed. So it all is. It's not a game. You're being you. Just be you, you know? It shouldn't be salesy. It shouldn't be
and have fun with it. I say this in my training. This is your own personal reality show. I don't know about you, but I love myself some reality TV, okay? When I used to watch TV, now I don't ever watch TV because who has time? But I used to want to be on reality TV, but guess what? I am on reality TV right now. It's called Facebook.
Well, they do say that to make your page like your storefront. Like you have your own business. You don't work for Beachbody. You work for you. You decide what you want to do. Like no one's telling you what to do. It's all up to you. If you want to do something one way, you do it that way. And what you're putting out on Facebook or Instagram or whatever you're doing, that's your business. It's your storefront. You do what you want to do to bring business in.
And the more you share real stuff, the more you share relatable items. That post I posted last night, and trust me, I did not do it for, you know, whatever. I posted my picture of my beer because I needed a beer. I haven't had a beer in 8 months. And that thing blew up with like some 80-some likes.
I know. And I'm like, what the hell? I posted something really great and I got like 4.
Right. I'm like, 80-some likes on a beer? People love beer. Okay. Well, so that's the point. Like, be relatable. Don't just be a Beachbody coach. Just don't pretend that you're not sitting here doing a team call with a bag of Twix behind you.
Hey guys. That's my fault too. I brought them. I'm so bad.
You have to be real. You have to be relatable. People are going to want to be around you. And have fun with it. Don't be serious with it. Just have fun with it. Be you guys. You guys are all great. Really. We love having you. There's a reason why The Secret brought us all together.
Magic.
I know you forgot to mention that thing that I told you when we were out to dinner about that guy in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Remember we were talking about this guy in Atlanta about something like unrelated to Beachbody, and I haven't been in Atlanta in like 9 years, and no kidding, that night in the middle of the night, I'm guessing like drunk PM'd me on Facebook saying, "Yo, Alex," and I got up in the morning, I'm like, oh, Stephanie goes, "It's The Secret."
I'm telling you. And
I haven't talked to him in like 9 years.
And you think it's not possible, but it totally is. It totally is. So, I mean, I'm telling you, talking to Kelly and talking to you yesterday, oh gosh. And then Kelly's freaking watching The Secret last night. I was like, oh my God, does not get any more The Secret than this. So anyway, does anybody else have any questions?
I have one. Sorry.
Okay.
We've had a couple, like Nicole has one customer who is nursing, and I know we said, I see you have a little one down there, Michaela. So I just wanted to like see about how safe, like, I mean, I know it's safe, but like I've read things that say that there may be some ingredients that are not safe, but all the vitamins and all the nutrients and everything else are like good. So and consult your physician.
Yeah.
Jeffrey says, but like obviously,
when
but
it involves a small child, it's going to consult your physician. I started drinking Shakeology when I was nursing. Okay. I will never understand why someone says I cannot drink Shakeology while nursing,
But they'll eat
but I'm
this.
going to go eat Twix. I'm going to go eat pizza. I'm going to have a fast food meal.
I do, but there is one thing, the amount of vitamins, because like some people get worried about the amount of vitamins and also being on a prenatal, like sometimes you can overdo it with that stuff. But I do have someone that just asked me too about that, about nursing. And I always say, no, it's safe. I know lots of people who've done it, but I always say, just check with your doctor. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to like go in for a visit, just quickly call the nurse at your OB, you know, just, you don't want to make their life more difficult, but I mean, you don't want to make the call for somebody and then have something happen.
We're not doctors,
right.
And you have to put the legal, look, I'm not a medical doctor. I cannot advise you either way. I'm going to tell you from my experience, this is what route I took. Okay. And my doctor said, I had so many doctors review Shakeology, truth. And my doctor said that there are ingredients in the Shakeology that could aggravate a child's intestines, but that is dependent on that child or that baby. For instance, I mean, I couldn't eat tomatoes when I was nursing my baby, you know, because they were sensitive to the acid in tomatoes. It's all in you and knowing your child. If you're drinking the Shakeology and your child's fussy and they're having like whatever, then you start to wean out, you know, I mean, as a nursing mom, that's what you do. But I mean, it's all natural.
I'm just asking, like, you know, for further purchases, if anybody asks, or if anybody, you know, whatever.
I would say, you know, I found it to be healthy. I consulted my doctor, but I still would encourage you to consult yours if you're, you know, feel comfortable doing it.
Well, I think if I ever, like, when I get pregnant again and I'm nursing, which is a yes, then I might have like DTs if I have to stop drinking Shakeology for 9 months plus. Like,
I'm gonna be drinking it if that's. I mean,
I'm just saying.
Like, you don't want people to return things. You can always say there's the money back guarantee. So if you do drink it a couple times and your baby like is something happens, they're very uncomfortable or doesn't sit well with them, you can get your money back, or you can save it until you're done because it won't be expired. Well, I don't know. I guess it depends how long you nurse.
Nicole, Megan is nursing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's nursing.
So, anybody else have a question? Nicole, you had a question?
No, I don't.
No questions?
Oh, don't be surprised.
When does it expire? How long? Sorry.
A year. But is that once it's opened?
No.
Right. I don't know the answer to that. Somebody asked me that the other day. I was like, oh, I don't know.
Once it's opened?
Yeah.
How long does it expire?
I think the expiration date is on the bag.
Yeah,
Right.
but what about once it's opened? Alex, where's Alex? I bet you she knows. You there, Alex? Other Alex?
Not me.
Alex,
you, Alex.
Alex? How come we can't see her?
She's muted.
Oh, she's muted? Unmute her. No, she's not. Alex.
Not muted anymore. I don't know the answer, but I mean, why would you have a bag of Shakeology open for a year?
Right.
Because some people, I do know people though that don't drink it every day. I mean, I'm like, what's wrong with you? I run through it too fast, but there are people that will like, I don't know, that maybe they're not like 100% committed right away. And so they'll like have a shake here and there and then fall off the wagon and they don't want to.
I mean, so I drink it. If it tastes funky, then I don't drink it again. But
I've never had that.
If it keeps in the bathroom, I don't drink it anymore.
I probably would not tell anybody else that, but I don't know. Check the FAQs.
Yeah, FAQs. All right. What about anybody else?